faster way to convert VHS tapes to DVDs? Our childhood memories are on VHS, but I'm afraid that the tape will deteriorate. I don't have a VHS player anymore since they all broke, and I can't justify buying a new one, no matter how cheap. I feel you there. Could you guys do a comparison between some DIY products I could buy and some services I could pay for? Thanks, Ben O. in Belmont, Mass.
First off, your VHS tapes are definitely deteriorating, Ben. How badly depends on where they're stored, how old they are, and how many times they've already been viewed.
Oh, I have a whole box of them that my mom has been on my butt to try to digitize for the past like 4 years.
Yeah.
And I've been putting it off and putting it off. They're in a box though. They're closed in a
Where's the box?
in the office.
Okay, that's not so bad.
They're not in direct sunlight or anything.
This is good, yeah. First off, the more views, the more oxide wears off the tape, the more worn out it gets. Uninsulated attic, where it gets hot, then cold, then hot, then cold, then hot, then cold, are the worst.
Okay.
Maybe the second worst. The worst would be the dashboard of your car in Arizona when it hits 120 degrees.
That's good.
And you come out and the tape's like bent in a U shape. You can basically pull these little reels out and reset them on another tape.
I'm so nervous. I gotta go check and make sure they're okay. But anyway,
You should.
If you're not willing to buy a VHS VCR, you need to borrow one if you want to do this yourself. No VCR means no source video to digitize on your computer.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You gotta get them somehow.
Sorry, but beg,
VHS
borrow,
tape is it.
liberate, whatever you have to do. The VCR actually might be the cheapest part of this. They sell for like $50 now. And I gotta say, you're also gonna get a video capture device. Our current fave remains the Hauppauge HD PVR. It's not cheap. It costs around $180. That's because it does excellent HD and SD capture. And inside the box, it does conversion to H.264 video at up to 1080i.
Nice.
Now, it's not gonna turn your VHS tape into 1080i video. It doesn't do that. It captures at the native, basically, whatever file size is running into this, it spits out an H.264 version on your computer.
So it'll look about as good as it would originally. Like it's not going to deteriorate. It's not going to up-convert it, but it's still going to look about the same.
It's going to look like
depending on how old
a
it is.
720 by 480 video capture of those soft details and those gentle colors, because you forget what a VHS tape looks like until you pop one in and you go, wow, that's just awful compared to DVD. Nice thing about this, though, we use it all the time to capture component video off of stuff that doesn't want to let us capture it over the HDMI port, but it has S-Video and composite jacks up front for SD. A little cheaper, around $50, Roxio's Easy VHS to DVD is available both Mac and PC versions. It's dedicated to SD video. And it's available pretty much everywhere. Yeah,
one thing you want to make sure you do, though, is clean the heads on your deck before you start doing the digitizing. Like, make sure that the VCR rather, is nice and clean so you don't get any kind of, elements or effects hanging out on the tape when you're trying to digitize it.
Or of considerably worse that you don't find, because the worst thing is like somebody gives you their jank old VCR, or you buy one from Goodwill, you throw the priceless memory of grandma on there, and you hear that telltale noise of tape being ripped off the reel and chewed into the drive.
Awesome. Yeah, you can do it. You can clean the head simply by either getting one of those cleaning tapes or with Q-tips and 90% rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, to do that, basically pop the top off, clean the heads, and while you're in there, clean the rollers and the other stuff inside.
I used to have to do that for when we would actually edit audio the old school way. We had to use the
reel-to-reel tapes.
Yeah,
big
and
fat
X-Acto knives to cut the. It was cool.
The last facility making 1-inch reel-to-reel tape in the United States finally shut down a couple years ago.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
Off track, different thing.
Anyhow, tracking, actually, that's good. Check the tracking also. That's the weird, another, like, if you don't remember the VCR days, where you basically align the head on the tape so the image looks proper. Cue up the tape around 10 seconds before the section you want to capture, start your capture program, and then hit play on the VCR. If you don't like the bundled software that comes with your capture device, just run Windows Movie Maker or iMovie and capture into that. And when you're done, hit the stop button. You've got a digital video file. You can save it as is, burn it to a DVD if you want to go old school, post it up on YouTube. You get the idea. Now, if you can't find a VCR to liberate, you'll want to use a professional service. The 900-pound gorilla of VHS tape conversion to DVD is YesVideo. They provide the service for the photo departments at retailers like Costco, Walmart, Walgreens, Ritz, and Wolf Camera, CVS, you name it, they do it. You drop your VHS High 8, Mini DV, 8mm, or Betamax tapes, or 8mm, Super 8, or 16mm film for that matter. They capture, digitize, and drop it on a DVD with, basic menus and chapters. And
around 3 weeks later, they send it back to you with all your original tapes, and they even repair damaged tape cases if necessary. Which is nice.
Yeah.
That's nice of them.
If you have sort of I think it's
Hopefully
mostly so
it's
they
still
don't
playable.
damage their machine.
Yeah, while they do clean and enhance film in the transfer process, videotape is pretty much what you see on your TV screen dropped onto a DVD. If your tape already has dropouts or dead spots, flicker, etc., that's what you're going to get, unfortunately, unless those problems are because your VCR is trashed, in which case cleaning would probably help that.
Yes, that is, yeah, if cleaning doesn't help it, your VCR is done, find another one.
It's like, at this point, you know, you can just find one. I bet you could find one at like a Goodwill
I actually
or Salvation
picked up,
Army.
I had some old live cassette recordings that I needed to digitize. I found a really nice NAD cassette deck for 20 bucks in my local Goodwill.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
nice and not heavily used. Now, if the idea of dropping off the last videotape of Grandpa with the local super drugstore staff freaks you out a little bit, and depending on your local drugstore, I can understand why it might, there are local options. Most cities have some type of video production shop that can capture the files for you. Finding them might be a little difficult. Get your yellow pages on, check Craigslist. You might also check your local cable public access studio or your library for a recommendation. Prices, by the way, are going to vary both across the resellers of the YesVideo services and your local shops, especially at your local shops.
I know, I was a little bit nervous myself with dropping them off at the Walgreens to get it done, so I think I'm just gonna have to borrow this little setup you've put together here.